And welcome back, Philosophy Nation. And there's the Zap Man himself. You know him. You love him. He's the co-host of the Full Send podcast, owner of the Zappers, Instagram's most influential guy, and now TikTok. And he is, of course, the voice of every single guy that messes up in sports. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, my friend.
Bob Menery. I remember like it was yesterday, Phil, when I first laid eyes on you, when you came up to that golf cart. I think you were called the Selfie King.
I was. We actually have a video.
Your video?
You want to see it?
Jake? Our first interaction together?
It's first interaction.
Let me see it. Roll it up. Roll it up.
So I'm trying to enjoy my golf round here, having a good time. It's a beautiful day, and all of a sudden I meet Fuckface, the Selfie King. For God's sake, you can't get this guy away from you. But he got the job done, I guess. He's already got Rory, fucking Ricky, fucking everybody. But I'm worried about him. It's all guys he's taking pictures with, so I don't know. That's all I'm saying.
I look good.
I look bad.
No, you look good. I don't know what happened to me. God damn. Talk about that's 4 years ago?
4 years ago now.
Man, oh man, it's been a while. But you're one of my favorite guys on planet Earth. I would do anything for you, and you're the man. And I love the hustle. You're grinding again. You're back. So you're in the podcast game now. It's weird. I'm not the host. I feel strange.
Right? I mean, I've been waiting for this one for a while, right? So everybody was like, Phil, you got to do a podcast because I got this crazy private story on Snapchat. I go, okay. I go, I'll do it. They go, your friends like with Menery and all this, how did it all happen? I explain them out the whole golf thing. I go, I'll do a podcast. We're doing it. I just started posting on my story and everybody's like, oh my God, you got him. Everybody was waiting for this moment.
Here it is.
Here it is. And here it is. I got my best friend, Jake. We call him Dr. Josh. He's helping us all out. So,
Dr. Josh.
But we're so happy to have you. And I'll tell you what, though, I mean, so much credit goes to you. I mean, you're somebody that literally, you see people, they do all these crazy different things, but you found something so to the mind, so easy to do. And you've created just this complete animal in the business that you're doing. And now you got this amazing podcast with Nelk. So what else has been going on with you?
We got a lot of stuff. We got our Zappers football team is starting up again this year. We had a little NASCAR venture that we did with the Ripmobile. We got this new gambling venture that we're starting up with the iGaming world is coming up with Sam Kiki and GPN. We got a bunch of different shit going on. The Full Send podcast is killing it right now. Kyle and those boys have a massive audience, and we've been talking about doing stuff together for a long time. We couldn't find out how we could really work together. And Kyle came to me, and I went to Kyle, and we were both like, what the fuck? We should do our podcast together, me and you. Kyle didn't know and was a little bit unsure about doing the podcast, and I said, let's just fucking go. So we've been able to line up some pretty cool people, and the show right now I think is one of the biggest shows on YouTube, so it's having some success.
It's awesome. My favorite show is when you had this guy's kid on it. This was by far. Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. Great episode.
You want to hear a fun fact? We actually had President Trump ready to go. We had him in New Jersey. We were going to do an episode with President Trump. Everything was lined up. We were supposed to go on the flight the next day, and we had to turn the President of the United States down because there was a conflicting interest in the gambling space because they were promoting something with DraftKings, or I forget what it was. Something with DraftKings or something. Something was with DraftKings. We didn't have a deal with DraftKings, and obviously the gambling space is huge, so we couldn't do it. So we actually had to turn down the President of the United States, which might have been a mistake. But yeah, no, his son was on there. We had him on during when all the Afghanistan stuff was happening, and it's obviously still happening, but nobody's really talking about it anymore. But yeah, so we had him and Robert O'Neill, the guy that killed Bin Laden. It was a great episode, and yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Turning down the President of the United States of America. It's never thought in my life I would ever come to that moment, but we did, which sucked, and we regret it. And now we're trying to get him back, and I don't know how open he is to it.
Would you rather be turned down by Margot Robbie or an interview with Donald Trump? I think I'd pick Donald Trump every time.
It depends. I mean, it's open. I mean, what do you mean? How am I turned down by Margot Robbie? She walks in a room and says, "I want to fuck you," or is it?
Yeah.
No, I mean. Man, well, I think you got to phrase that question better. I think rather would I have sex with Margot Robbie or have an interview with Donald Trump?
Yeah. I'm going with the interview every time. There's so much you could do out of it.
Is it Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street?
It's Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street. Absolutely.
I'm going to pass on Trump.
Wow. I couldn't do it. I don't know. I met him a couple times and I just love the guy. I do. So a little bit more about yourself. Like you talked about how I'm started off my first ever podcast. So how'd you start off?
I started off by, I had not a lot of success in LA. Came back from LA, down and out. Tried a bunch of times. Went LA, Boston. Didn't really make it. Then finally had to go back to Boston with, I had really nothing, and then ended up kind of getting a little bit lucky. Went to, my buddy's house and did this stupid little voiceover clip that he caught, and I always used to do my little shtick, but on that day, it kind of actually went somewhere. It was the clip where I was just sitting on a couch and I was pretending I was commentating like Sunday Night Football. And I think Bro Bible picked it up and a bunch of other outlets, and they were like, "Why isn't this guy a sports broadcaster when everywhere on the internet and all that stuff?" And from there I just kind of was like, "Oh, what's social media?" Started up Instagram, started up all that stuff, and then started to do what sports announcers want to say but can't, and created a little shtick that kind of has been pretty good lately, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love what you do because you go against everything that people are so against. Everybody's like, "Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that." It's like, why not? Why not? Why can't you say these things? And you see that, you look at all these people that are like, "Oh, if you do this, that's bad." They're all getting fired from their jobs and they're all losing it. But guys like you just keep climbing up the ranks and keep going
Well,
and
if you
going
don't have
and
a
going.
job that you can get fired from, it's not a problem. So
Yeah.
you kind of control your own destiny, then you're good. I mean, when I kind of started this out, I mean, in the beginning, I got offers to do like minor league baseball and different kind of broadcasting stuff. But I was like, I think I see a faster, more lucrative path by going against the way, industry standard is, and by creating kind of my own little like thing, which I'm glad I did, because at the end of the day, like, it's a tough path to become like at the end of the day, I could be a great sports broadcaster, right? But I think you would probably have to start, especially where I was back then, you'd have to start in the minors and then work your way up.
Yeah,
And it's like you make
waiting for you're pretty much waiting for a guy to die to get a job like that.
You're waiting for a guy to die. You need Joe Buck to fall off a cliff. You need Al Michaels to fucking die of a heart attack. You need fucking
Jim Nance has got to fall off a cliff at Pebble Beach. It's a whole shit show.
Exactly. So, it shows this. And I think at the end of the day, you know what? One day I think we will be doing some sort of live commentary and sports broadcasting stuff. Because everybody always asks me, well, why do you do real sports broadcasting? I'm like, well, I think the world's shifting in a different way, where like the esports and there's so many different ways to kind of incorporate what I do. And I already kind of took a leap in a different direction where I talked about, like hookers and all that stuff. Like Fox can't come and hire me now because of the stuff I've said in the past, because it's just not up to, whatever it is. It's not a.
We lost him for a second. He'll be back. A little halftime right now.
I'm here.
There he is. He's back. You're fine. You're fine. We figured it out. But no, I absolutely agree. It's crazy that one thing that you say today, you can't get a job in 20 years, which that's what I really am so looking forward to seeing, right? You look at all these years, like now the new guy who runs Twitter, you can't post a meme. He doesn't want people to post memes.
What do you mean? Again?
The new Twitter CEO, he doesn't want people to post memes anymore.
Really? I didn't hear that.
You can't use a photo of somebody without their permission.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Well, the world's a very sensitive place right now, so I just know that I've never changed and I never will change. And even when we were with Buffalo Wild Wings doing our little commercials and stuff, and they used to call me all the time and be like, "Well, Bob, you're the face of a national brand. Can you please simmer it down a little bit?" Like, no, I don't want to. I don't really.
Fuck you.
Because there's nothing really damaging that we're doing. Yeah, we're saying things, and our shit is called. It's like I play like a character in my little shticks. It's almost like a broadcaster character, because I envisioned this when I first started. It's like I wanted to turn this into an animated cartoon, which one day I still want to do. But yeah, I mean, I think that just following the rules is just really never been for me.
No, I totally agree with you. It goes back to that whole woke culture, everything woke turns to shit. Like if you say one thing that somebody gets mad at you. I remember my senior year of high school, we didn't get a snow day. I said that the principal's name, little weak guy. We called him Mini Man. He was a small little guy. He hated me. I said, Manny, I said, you know what? Morelli touched the elf on the shelf. Went viral at school. I got suspended the next week. Everybody was chanting free Phil in school. I didn't fucking care. I was untouchable.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
You
untouchable.
gain more street cred, which you can use later.
Gain more street cred. Absolutely. You got to be yourself out there. Like, speaking of being myself, I mean, I remember when you came out with your first line of merchandise, all the Ripper Magoo stuff. I bought it all, and I was coaching a rec basketball team, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I go, we're called the Ripper Magoos. I think we got a video of us doing, I got a technical like every game, but we got a chant right here. I'll tell you a funny story about this one. Jake, roll.
We're going to keep on pressing. Like that. Ready? Up here. Ripper Magoo's over. 1, 2, 3.
Do those kids actually know Ripper Magoo's actually meant?
Now they do. Back then, no fucking idea. And so right before then, I broke the clipboard because we scored 2 points in the first half. We went on a 20-0 run to win that game.
You went on a 20-0 run to win the game?
20-0.
You were a real coach, like coaching these kids?
Yeah.
Did you ever really? See, I always wanted to be a coach.
Yeah.
That
First time I ever coached, I got assaulted.
What do you mean?
A dude attacked me on the field. Football
or basketball?
Flag football.
Oh, okay. So you're a flag football, but that's it. So you've coached a lot of different areas.
Yeah, and then I had a football team last year. The photo's right over here in the corner. Won the Super Bowl. Then this year I got fired because I said that a kid couldn't block water if you fell out of a boat.
Okay.
So I got canceled. Wasn't that bad. So other people are saying other stuff, but it's crazy. You can't do anything anymore.
You just got to look at, here's the deal. As long as you have good intentions and you know that at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. It's okay.
Exactly. The best part is the kids made a petition that had 105 signatures to get me back. It was hysterical.
I fucking love it.
Right. I was like, you guys are fucked up, but it's fucking great.
That's amazing.
Speaking of football, I mean, in my eyes, you're the reason why Josh Gordon is back in the NFL pretty much. Why he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, Josh.
No question.
Well, Josh, the story behind Gordon was Josh was obviously suspended 8 times or whatever. And I have this team that we own, this Arena Football Startup League, Fan Control Football League, that's coming back again for another year. And Johnny Manziel, I had to go down to Scottsdale, get him zapped, and convince him to come and play quarterback for our team. And he did that. And then you obviously want more firepower. And I found out the Seahawks and what Josh's situation was. Josh, obviously, an extremely great football player. I said, Josh, I called him up. First time ever. I picked up the phone and I called Josh. I said, Josh, here's the deal. This is not where you're going to want to be. I said, but I'd love for you to come and play football for this team for 4 weeks. We'll pay you some money, get you back in the field, get you back in shape and whatnot. Give it your all. And I said, I promise you this at the end of the day. I will do everything I can in my power to get you back in the NFL. And Josh, accepted the agreement to come and play. He went, not only just played, he went above and beyond. And after it was all said and done, he completed his job. And I said, oh, fuck, I have to now live up to my end of the bargain. And Josh really had no agent, no manager, no, anybody really back at the time. So I said, all right, let's fucking do this. So, I called all my guys that I have that are high ups and, tried to see what the best approach would be to try and get a guy back in the NFL and how to get to Roger Goodell and how to get Roger Goodell to get him reinstated. And so long story short, I hooked him up with a great agent, Zach Hiller, who does a lot of work with me. And we put him on, Josh obviously had been got for substance abuse, the weed and all that stuff. So he needed to be regularly tested prior to get back in the NFL. So he went on a program, passed all the tests with flying colors. And then it was just on Roger to get him back in. We pushed, through Adam Schefter was a big help. Adam tweeted out a bunch of stuff for us and helped us out big time. And then he got reinstated, and now it's about getting him on the right football team. And so, Patrick Mahomes, I hit up Patrick, and Patrick was a good, Patrick was pretty gung-ho on Josh as well. And even though Josh hasn't performed as well as he should this year, there's still a lot of football left. That team is so deep right now with all the receivers and whatnot. But we felt, all of us, me, Josh, and Zach, that Kansas City was the best place for him to go because at the end of the day, look, he's 31 years old. He's, if you want to build a brand and you want to build, to maximize your remaining years that you have left. He's not a 22-year-old receiver anymore. He can't go and play for fucking the New York Jets. If the New York Jets wanted to sign him, even if it was a couple $100,000 extra, it didn't matter. We want to put him on a chance to win a Super Bowl. And so
the Jets wouldn't be the team.
Jets wouldn't be the team. And even if he went off, he's not going to be marketable after that. you know? So what I thought best case scenario would be, let's get him on a team that he could be in the playoffs, that he can be in the Super Bowl and be with a real true leader. And so Mahomes and Kansas City was the right play. They made him an offer. He started off in the practice squad, and he's been killing it ever since, as far as just, being a good team player and being involved in the game. But, hopefully it's a good second half of the year for him, because that's all that really matters, because if you look at this at the end of the day, if you're trying to, get him some big brand deals and whatnot, nothing really much needs to happen during the season. But if he goes off and catches the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl, or goes off in the playoffs, it makes him more marketable, So that's basically why I think that he made the choice to go to Kansas City. And obviously the program there is above and beyond. So
What's going on with Johnny Manziel right now?
Manziel's having fun. He's done. He doesn't want to ever play football again. I mean, I could probably convince him to come back and play quarterback for our team, which he'll probably do. But at the end of the day, Johnny's just chilling. He's doing his thing. Johnny's one of the best guys I ever met, one of the biggest hearts in the world. Obviously Johnny just kind of, look, everybody looks at Johnny like he was a failure, but at the end of the day, he had a great fucking career in college and just couldn't bring it to the NFL. It happens. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where Johnny just is doing his thing, and I don't think he'll ever be back playing football again. But if he is, he'll definitely be playing for the Zappers.
I love it. So how many teams are going to be in the league this year, you guys thinking?
8.
8 teams again?
We're adding 4 new teams.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
I remember watching those games last year. I mean, those games were awesome.
You guys made on Twitch, and it's like, you bring in, like, what I wanted to do is I wanted to build my team with all, like, the complete opposite of what, like, I wanted to bring on, Vontae's Perfect. I wanted Ray Rice. I wanted, like, OJ Simpson.
That'd be awesome.
I want all the bad boys, because at the end of the day, we want to get as many clicks and as many streams as possible. And, like, when I say Ray Rice and all that stuff, like, look at Ray got punished for what he did. What he did was completely wrong and horrible, and you should never, ever do that. And what he did. But at the end of the day, it goes back to what Tory Lane said in a Full Send podcast interview with you. He said the idea of being canceled, right? It's just a kind of weird thing, like canceled. I believe in suspensions. Like, you should be suspended for something that you do, right? But canceled is just kind of a powerful word. I always believe in second chances, third chances, fourth chances. I got 1, I got 3, I got 5, I got 7, I got 9 chances, and then the 9th chance it finally hit. So I'm somebody who always believes in the better in people, that always people can figure out their shit. At the end of the day, yeah, there is a certain time where you have to cut people off and whatnot, but yeah. So hopefully this year should be good. We'll be streaming on Twitch again, same kind of thing. I think it'll be in Atlanta again this year, but it'll be fan control football where fans control the plays. And it was hard last time because it was all COVID. So everybody was stuck in a bubble and nobody could do anything. So hopefully this year, even though there's a new fucking virus out now, I guess, supposedly, whatever the fuck that is, hopefully it doesn't disrupt things too much. Come on in.
I love it. And the greatest part about this league, which annoyed me so much from all the guys on ESPN, everybody would shit on the league because they never thought of a thing to give people second chances or anything good like that ever. Yeah. And I never got that, because I'm somebody who I got a second chance and I made a lot out of my second chance. And now that I'm doing like this podcast, I get people that tell me all the time, like, you really shouldn't do a podcast. Like, what if it doesn't blow up? I go, okay, but what's the other thing if it happens? They go, it blows up. I go, then there you go. I go, there's your answer. I go, in life, you don't always get everything on your first try. You keep going back. Like, a favorite quote of mine is, winners don't lose, they learn. And that's something that I live by every single day.
Yeah. I mean, look at the deal. At the end of the day, it's like anything else. My buddy was starting a TikTok channel. He's like, well, I don't want to put this up or whatever. But I'm like, just throw it up. It doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Do what makes you happy.
Shoot. What's the worst thing that happens? You look like a fucking idiot. You look like a loser. You look like what? Who gives a fuck? Who gives an absolute fuck about anything or what anybody says, thinks, or whatnot? Just do you and just keep firing. People respect it more. Even if there's effort there, people respect it.
Yeah. I remember when I first started the podcast, I reached out to the actual, not the Wolf of Wall Street, but his ex-wife. I go, can you come on the podcast? She said no. Somebody was like, oh, why'd you reach out to her? I go, because what if she said yes? They go, wow, they're right. They go, you're right. You got a good podcast. And I go, I know. Same thing. Like, we do these Instagram lives every night. I'm sure you get those notifications because I fucking DM
keep popping in there. It's just too much. I'm too much of a liability for you. I just feel like you're on their Zap and I'm gonna fucking do something dumb.
Oh, I hear you. But everybody's like, oh, like, feel like you can't say some of those things. Like, what we want to get, You know, in the Wolf of Wall Street when they had like the dwarf wrestling, like the dwarf boxing.
Yeah.
We want to do that. We want to do like a full like rain event with that. And somebody goes like, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that." I go, "Why?" I go, "Did you laugh?" They go, "Yeah." They go, "We laughed." I go, "We got to do whatever makes people happy." I go, "If my goal in life is if I can make one person laugh," I go, "That's the job that I just did." You know?
Right. 100%.
So I love TikTok, but I want to hear from you because you're somebody who's in the TikTok world. What are your thoughts about all this TikTok drama, like with these houses, like the Sway House and like Bryce Hall and all them, and how they all like backstage? Like, what's going on in there that really nobody understands?
I have no idea. I mean, I know all those guys, but I don't really pay attention to this. I don't know. I mean, I literally have no idea what I'm doing on this fucking site. I just repurpose a lot of my content from Instagram onto there. Brett helps me out with a lot of what to post and whatnot. I don't fucking know. My shit's blowing up, and I don't know how the fuck it is. It's nuts. So I've grown like 2 million fucking people in the past fucking like 2 months.
That's awesome. That's sick. I love that. I absolutely love
It's
that.
insane. I think my product just works well with it.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
This is powerful shit.
Yeah.
Is that Brett?
Yeah, it's Brett.
Oh, have Brett come in here. Everybody's got to meet
Come on
Brett.
in for me.
Brett, if it weren't for Brett, I don't know how we would have got this thing going.
If it wasn't
Brett,
for Brett,
thanks so
I
much.
don't know how to be alive. I don't know how to be alive.
If we got Brett in here, Jake, hop in for a second. Jake, say hi to Brett. I got my executive producer, best friend, doctor. You got Jake over there all the way at Muhlenberg helping us out. Jake, you got any questions for Bob? I know you do. You're on mute.
My bad, everybody. What's
Go on.
going on, everybody? No, I don't know. I don't have any questions. I mean, I help Phil with his questions. So
Yes, he does. He's the brains to the operation. I'm just.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So who would be your dream guest to have on the podcast?
Me, to be honest with you,
Trump probably.
Absolutely.
All right. What about besides Trump?
Besides Trump,
it's got to be Bob, Phil. Come on now.
You by far. I mean, this was one of the biggest ones that I needed. You know, I said to everybody, I posted last night on my story, I go, this week ago, I'm going to go viral. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I go, watch. I go, sit and wait. And all day I've been bouncing off the walls waiting for this. And it's actually going so well. Like,
Here
I'm
we are,
knock on wood. But by far, I think Trump, I mean, you by far. I'd love to get to
we don't even belong in the same sentence. So first of all, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it is pretty cool though. Like these podcasts are fun though. It is because you never know what to expect. You know, when we do our shit, it's fucking like it's so funny because Kyle is obviously so busy with the Nelk Boys doing all his shit. He's always running around. He's doing his vlogs and he's doing all his shit. And Salim is just fucking out to lunch and just fucking being Salim. But we'll all be like this. Like we'll meet randomly. Like we'll have like Mike Tyson, for instance. And we'll all show up and we'll be there like 30 minutes before. We'll meet at the house or wherever the fuck we're doing it. And like, all right, yo, so what are we doing? And Kyle is like, I don't know. And I'll be like, I don't know. And this thing, I don't know. There's like just no preparation, like not one question written down, nothing. And truthfully, like I can truthfully say that in all of our podcast interviews, we've had Shaquille O'Neal, we've had Dana White, we've had Jake Paul, we've had Dennis Rodman, we had Trump, we had the guy who killed Bin Laden. We just had Gervonta Davis. We had Usman, the champion of the UFC. We've had a lot of big fucking players. And when I tell you that there has been zero preparation done for any of these podcasts, now I think the questions and all that could be a lot better. We could do a little bit better at that, but it just shows you that, like, podcasts are supposed to be fun, shooting the shit. You don't need to sit there with like fucking Usman, the champion of the UFC, and just sit there and talk about fucking fighting stuff the whole time. I think podcasts are just supposed to be like whatever the fuck comes to your head and just shoot the shit. And I think it makes it more interesting when you actually do that. Because so many people are used to just talking to Mike Tyson about boxing. We didn't even really talk boxing really with Mike Tyson. We just got so high, and he like fucking smoked DMT, and I've never been so intimidated in my life. I mean, I walked into that place and smoked a fuck ton of weed, and then
that was the funniest episode.
Oh, bro! And then every once in a while, it just hits you, like, because I still don't understand half the time in my life, like when this shit happens, because again, like it shouldn't happen. I'm just sitting there across from Mike Tyson staring me in the eyes, and I'm just like, what the fuck is my life here? Like, this is fucked up, And so I had to, like, I try and fuck with every guest, though, too. Like, I try to push their buttons, see if I can fucking rattle them a little bit. Tyson got a little rattled because I remember I gave him a little bit of shit because he was like, he made a statement about how he doesn't kill bugs. He was like, like I don't kill bugs. I'm
Fuck
like,
bugs.
And I'm like, what do you mean you don't kill bugs? He's like, well, something about like whatever they're meaning to life or something. I'm like, well, what if right now there's an ant in the room and the ant is crawling around? What do you do? And he was like, basically like something like I wouldn't kill the ant. And I was like, what if there's an ant problem? And I just kept poking him on his thing. And he looked at me. He called me Brother Bob. He said, listen to me, Brother Bob. And that's when I knew I was in trouble because he locked eyes with me like, I don't want to piss this motherfucker off. So but that's why no preparation is the key to our pods.
Yeah, but I love that dynamic of your podcast though, because it's very free flowing conversation. And when I talk to Phil about this, we try to get questions going, but you guys have such a good group. Like it's so. In my roommates, I'm in college right now. My roommates, they watch it. We watch at different times, different episodes, and we all laugh our asses off because it's the funniest thing ever. But it's so real because it's not scripted. And you guys just have a blast. Like when you guys were at Tyson talking about the toad, and he's doing DMT, and you guys are lighting up your fucking joints, and your eyes are bloodshot red, which I thought was the funniest thing ever.
I was
like,
that was maybe the highest ever. I actually was having a panic attack mid-episode.
I was gonna say, I can't imagine. I can't believe you smoked that much.
Well, you can't.
Like, that was crazy.
Think about this.
I got a fun story about weed after this.
Think about when you smoke a lot of weed, right? You just have like a fucking panic attack, right? We've all been there. We've all been there, like just whatever. Now imagine when you have that, you can't get up and go because you're filming an episode of Mike Tyson.
I thought that. That's the first thing I thought about because I can't. And I thought about you having a fucking full-on panic attack.
I was like having a panic attack while I was sitting there. And like you can't just get up and walk away and be like, like I need some air. Like we're filming. So I'm like, I just smoked like fucking 5 joints with this fucking guy. My heart is racing out of my chest. I don't even know what I'm saying. My legs are moving in a weird way. Like it was nuts. So
I can't even imagine.
But it is more fun to smoke weed on a pot. Like what I like to do is I'd rather actually, I'm more comfortable. Actually, believe it or not, if I interview somebody, I'm more comfortable instead of being extremely prepared and preparing every question and what I want to ask somebody and whatnot. I'm actually more comfortable going in and just saying fuck it and just getting as high as shit sometimes with no preparation, because I think that's where like the more real, truer moments come from. And that's why I actually like the lack of preparation sometimes, because it allows you more to be yourself and it doesn't tighten you up as much. And it puts you more on like on your toes a little bit.
Yeah,
definitely.
Speaking of weed, I don't want to make this all about myself, but so one night, so we're all out at a party.
It's just been all about me, so you're good.
Yeah. So we're out at a party, and it's me, my buddy Grant, and we're going back, and the Uber driver, we're doing an Uber pool. She's got her dog in the car, and this girl that I'm trying to talk to texts me. She goes, hey, like, I'm by your house. Do you have weed we can have? Now, I don't smoke. So I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm trying to get this girl. So I go, oh, you know what? I go, I've got the CBD gummies for golf, and I've got cigars. I go, fuck it. I'm bombed at this point.
Right.
I'm flying around in the Uber because I told her to hurry up home. She's going like 95 on the highway in a Toyota minivan. And I'm flying around in the back seat, right? I get out. I full Jordan Belfort it into the house. I cut up a cigar, take the CBD gummies, put it in a baggie. She gets to the house. She goes, oh, you got it? I give it to her. I got blocked about 10 minutes later on Snapchat. Blocked.
That was one of the story, Phil?
It wasn't a good one.
A 5-minute monologue about how you get blocked by somebody on Instagram?
Yeah, that's about it, really.
You want to be a podcast host?
Yeah, that was a shitty story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. It was a shitty story, but at the end of the day, you did get blocked on Instagram by her?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, blocked. I was like, whatever. Fuck you.
How does that tie into how high you were?
I wasn't. I'm just talking about weed. We were talking about weed. I was like, you know what? I got like a good little story. Like, throw it in there.
I had to call you out. Sometimes if you tell a shitty story.
No, absolutely. No, that was a shitty story. That was
horrible.
It sounded good in my head.
I'm being an asshole. I had to be an asshole.
No, I sounded good in my head. It just fucking wasn't.
So you boys, by the way, you excited for football? You guys big football fans?
Huge.
Oh, huge. I'm a Jets fan, so it's irrelevant at this point.
Jets fan, irrelevant. It sucks if you're a real big Jets fan. It sucks because you guys are in the shitter for a long time, and you've been in the shitter for a long time. Last time you guys were good, like the only years you guys were good prior to this was like Mark Sanchez back in the.
And that's the worst part about it. But it sucks is the butt fumble is how you look at
the epitome.
Sanchez.
That's it.
So it's like you don't even look at any of the highlights because it was such a shit show that game against Patriots.
You know what
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't wait for Mac Jones next year when they load up that offense.
What do you mean next year?
When they load up that
offense right now.
He's going off right. No, he's going off right now. But next year he's gonna fucking kill it because next year they're gonna need more weapons on offense.
Next year he's gonna kill it. If you look at his fucking numbers, he's fucking
killing it right now. I know. I love
Rookie of
Mac
the year.
Jones.
Why the fuck next year? This year, the Patriots are a real threat. Their power rankings.
They're a
right now.
threat, but I don't think anybody could. I truly believe if they go against Tom Brady, I just don't see him losing.
Yeah,
to
but
the
if they
Bills.
only
Dude,
way
they're
to go
4
against
in November. They're 4 in November.
Listen,
They're
the
fucking
expectations
insane.
the expectation of this team to have a rookie quarterback come in, okay, after fucking Tom Brady, right? And the shoes that he had to fill in New England and how calm, cool, and collective he's been. By the way, the Patriots right now are 7-4. The Patriots should be right now at a bare minimum 8-3. They fumbled the football when all they had to do was kick a field goal to win the game. The guy fumbled the fucking football in the 12. That against the Dolphins. He lost the Dolphins.
It was
Against
awful.
Those Cowboys, okay? It was an overtime game that we should have won. And guess what? We should have beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The New England Patriots, by the way, could be right now fucking – what did I say? They were 7. They could be fucking – they could have one loss. They literally could. Literally, you could say that about every football team. At the end of the day, like New England is extremely, extremely good fucking football team this year.
Absolutely. No, always.
And their defense, and it just shows why Belichick is absolutely coach of the year runaway. Mac Jones, absolute rookie of the year this year.
By far, easy.
So I don't look forward, Phil, to seeing Mac Jones play next year. I look forward to seeing him play next week and going into a deep playoff run led by one of the best coaches, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
My point is done.
You think Alabama's going to win the national championship this year?
That's a diehard Patriots fan. Holy shit.
What do you think about Alabama?
You're steaming, Bob. You're steaming.
Brother, I'm a diehard Pats fan.
What do you think about Alabama?
You know what's funny? I'm not a big college guy. I'm not a big college football fan. I mean, BC could have been. I mean, I'm a Boston sports guy, but never really got attached to. I watch games. The only way I watch college football is if we're betting on them. If we, I'll make the games more interesting by putting money on the line on them.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not a big college football guy. I don't have a team. I don't have a dog in a fight. I mean, what I'll do is I'll cheer for anything that's good for my business. And when I mean like that, I mean, like if I got fucking 5 guys on Alabama that I'm boys with, I know that if Alabama keeps winning and I'm boys with these guys, then it's going to be better for my business at the end of the day because I have an association with guys like that. So I'll cheer. Like it's like with Gordon, Josh, right? If Josh Gordon plays against the New England Patriots, in the AFC Championship game this year, I'm like, fuck. I don't know. I'm a diehard Pats fan, but I got a little equity in fucking Josh Gordon. So it's like, I got to see if I'm a real Pats fan or not.
I like it. Little off topic, but because you had such a big comeback this year from the Buffalo Wild Wings, now you're the number one podcast.
Comeback. It's been a downhill. A comeback?
I think you. I remember seeing your post. I remember seeing your post, and I'm like, no. I go, this guy's gonna be fine. And now you got the number one podcast in America, pretty much.
I'd agree to that.
By far. All right, you were going.
I agree that we have I agree we were top 1-2 podcasts in the world right now.
No, number one. I don't think
Rogan's number one.
I
can't beat Joe Rogan right now.
No, nobody can beat Joe Rogan. You guys are different than Joe Rogan. You guys are way different than Joe Rogan. I get bored watching Joe Rogan, and I love like what he stands for, but I get bored watching him. I really do.
I'll never do it, but we actually definitely have a show that competes with what Joe's doing too. I mean, it's just there's different audiences. Ours is ours is a different like flow.
Yeah.
But Joe's like fucking interesting, like smart. Like, like we're just boneheads sitting around getting baked and fucking talking about licking toads and shit. But it's interesting because sometimes people don't take famous people outside the box like that. Like, I think the goal is to any guests you have, these big time people that people don't normally have the balls to put outside their comfort zone. That's my goal, is to see what it's like when I can kind of put some of these guys outside their comfort zone because they're so used to getting their fucking dick sucked. And that's when you can then if you get them a little bit, there's like a strategy to it, There's I'm playing with every fucking guest that I have on the show. Because
that's what makes it so personable. That's why I think I play lacrosse in college, and all my boys, we love your podcast because we never would think that we would see that side of a lot of your guests. I mean, having Shaquille O'Neal on to hear the stuff he's talking about, or just those guys like Dennis Rodman. Obviously Dennis Rodman's a crazy guy, we all know that, but just to hear that even more, opening them up, and it's something so interesting. And you guys to be there, we all look up to you guys. I think you guys are the coolest guys too. Phil's been telling me about you, and we've been following you forever. When I met you, I was shaking. It was just so cool to meet you, and to see you guys open up like that. Also, that's why I think so many people are falling in love with your stuff, and that's what hopefully Phil's going to end up doing. But just to see those guys and to see the way you talk to them in particular and specific, Your questions aren't even questions. It's just a conversation. And it just shows like these people are real. And that's the best part about it. Joe Rogan dissects those guys by their profession and what they're good at. You guys just are the realest of real people.
We just get them baked and fucking try and get them retired.
Yeah,
I love that.
You just get them going. It's the best part.
Love that. I love that.
Love that. That's my slogan. That's my thing. Love that.
I love that.
Whenever I get comfortable, like you'll notice because I have actually tics when it comes to like if I have like if I don't really know what to say next, you'll notice that I say like love that.
I'd say like or
Rodman, actually, Kyle gives me a bunch of shit. There's this clip when Rodman's like talking about he's like suicide, and he was like something, but I couldn't really hear him. I couldn't really understand what he was saying. Through kind of distance, and he talks quiet, and he was talking about something like about suicide, and I didn't really hear him, so I replied like, "Love that," because that's my tick when I'm like uncomfortable.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, "Love that." So he just kept on talking about suicide, I'm like, "Love that." So how many technical fouls did you have in your career? It was like an immediate transition. It like looked so bad. There's a clip that Kyle has. I'll shoot it over to you guys to put into this thing, but it's yeah. So.
That's fucking great. Well, same thing. Like with Jake, if we're ever talking, he'll fucking stop me mid-sentence and yell at me because I say like or I'm saying or this or that. He cuts me off like right away. It's hysterical.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it gets bad. He just says like and 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 I'm like, Phil, buddy, slow down. It's all gonna be all right.
You can say like 1,000 times and make it sound cool and fucking keep doing it. But otherwise, I don't know. Listen to Jake.
Yeah. We take each other's advice a lot.
Listen to the doctor.
Exactly. We play golf together. Some days that's a fucking shit show. I mean, shit
what
show.
Is Boom, by the way. What are you wearing a hat? Boom. What's that?
So it's my merch. So when I started my private story and I made like bracelets that said philosophy always there, never stop. And then I had like the boom bracelets. I always said boom. Like if something good happened, I'd say boom. And
all right, well, I'm gonna get one of those hats. I'm gonna wear it in the next show.
I'll probably get one of these.
Awesome.
No, I don't want the sweatshirt. I want the hat. I just want to wear the hat. Says
all right,
boom.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link.
A sweatshirt to wear like just normally every day.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is what people don't realize is like if they send me a sweatshirt,
yeah,
I just wear it every day.
Yeah.
Like, so.
I'll send you the hat. I'll ship you this hat.
I'll wear the hat for the next podcast video. I promise you. I have my word.
All right. We'll have Brett send me the address and I'll ship it out to you.
No, you fucking figure a way to get to Brett and fucking get him the address.
Yes,
I'm not doing shit. If you send me
I'm going to talk to Brett. I'm going to talk to Brett. I'm going to be like, yo, Brett, I need you to fucking do this for me and done. That's how it's going to fucking go.
Done. Deal. Perfect. End of story. I love that.
That's how that's going to happen. Bob, how do you handle haters?
Depends on the stage I'm at in my life. It depends on the stage that I'm at in my life. And it depends what the hatred is about. So I get a lot of shit, especially when I started doing this new thing with these guys. Yeah. I started getting a lot of shit, but it just depends. I don't ever really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like it does not faze me in the slightest. As a matter of fact, I just like use it as like motivation. And I know I'm so confident in myself and my abilities that like nothing is going to affect. I know what I am. You know what I mean?
I love that.
You get a bunch of shit being talked to you. I don't give a fuck. But there are times where, if somebody calls me out like a troll or somebody DMs me but they actually make sense and they're like, fuck you, you're a fucking pussy, you're a bitch, you fucking do this a certain way. And I'm like, whoa, he's actually kind of right. So then I'll reply to him. And I'll like be like, you brought up a good point. So can you elaborate more? Because I like to actually learn from people sometimes. If they're talking shit, I like to actually learn from them. Because I actually want to fix it. I always want to improve in life, right? So I want to fix my flaws. So if I see something, I'll actually engage with the person. I'll say, well, why do you think that? And then sometimes I'm like, dude, I was just trying to get a response. And I'm like, all right, fuck you. And they're like, dude, I was like, whatever. But sometimes I've had conversations where people have actually, random strangers have broken down things for me that I wasn't doing right. And I actually used that information and actually tried to better it.
Wow.
I love it. Love it. Love it.
Love that.
Shit.
Love that. That's awesome.
Love it.
That really is. I mean, like the other day, our buddies, they won the state championship and they actually beat my school and our schools are both rivals. So the day after they won the state championship, my buddy texts me, he goes like, I want to film a pod with you today. I go, fuck yeah. I go, let's do it. I go, that's the perfect thing. Like, you just won. I go, let's do it. Everybody's hungover. They went to bed at like 5 a.m. We recorded at like 2. I got so much hate from so many of my friends. Like, oh, you're a traitor, you're this or that. I go, guys,
That's a small crew. That's a small
Yeah.
crew. I just
Yeah,
fucking,
it's a small crew. I go, guys, I don't give a fuck if you're my friend or whatever. I go, it's my fucking business. I go, that's a good podcast.
just don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Just don't even say anything.
Yeah.
Why the fuck even say anything? Just fucking do it. Just get it done. That's it. End of story. But how are you going to take this now? Let me ask you this then. So how are you going to take what your podcast is right now, and how are you going to try and take it to the next level? What's the plan?
Just by being myself.
Yeah, it's not enough though.
Got a lot
From an actual strategy. Like, what's your
actual strategy?
How do you get people? Because is it guest dependent, or is this you guys shooting the shit?
Both. I've got a couple podcasts lined up where we're just going to shoot the shit.
Would you prefer it to be guest dependent, or would you prefer it to be just a flow thing?
Probably more guest independent. I've got a lot of big guests coming up in the near future. I got some guys from Barstool coming over. You ever see the show Impractical Jokers?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, Sal Vicano. He's coming on. He's really committed. Guys like that. And I reach out to really whoever I see is at the top right now.
So how can you reach out to them without really any, right? Because I'm curious what your strategy is. Because I was there once in the beginning. I had nothing. I had zero from everything. So I started exactly from zero. But what's your strategy if you have no blue check mark, you have no fucking followers, you have nothing? How can you go about getting a high caliber guest?
What we've been doing. So what we did
without paying them.
Without paying them?
Yeah.
So what I did, we made a whole bunch of really big time promo videos, put a lot of money into a lot of promo stuff, and it made everything look very legitimate. Like Jake coaches high school lacrosse, and at lacrosse practice that one of the kids actually said to him, goes, you know, Jake, he goes, I saw Phil's promo video. He goes, if you don't know Phil, he goes, you'd want to be on that kid's podcast.
Yeah, but that's great. You can spend all the money. You can spend all the money you want on promo videos and whatnot and all that. But I'm saying, say hypothetically, you want to get like Logan Paul, right?
Right.
How would you go about going to get Logan Paul in your shit?
I've seen videos of people going and doing that, and like you'll see people like run up to him and ask him and stuff. Like, I'm not a big fan of doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
To get a guy like Logan Paul, it's a podcast like this where hopefully, you know, we get it to blow up because we've been working it.
I'm gonna give you a strategy.
Okay.
All right, so you got Logan Paul, right? You need to get to Logan Paul, right? You ever heard of 6 Degrees of Separation? You ever heard that game?
No.
I think I'm going to explain.
I'd use my connections too.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But I'm saying you have the power of social media now, which is crazy. And if you do a lot of like a deep dive, where like I would start with Logan Paul, and then I would look at who his mutual followers are of ours and yours, and if there's none there, you know, I'd immediately go to like if I wanted to get Logan Paul, right? And Logan and I didn't know each other. I would click mutual, and I would see who our mutual friends are, and then I would go to this person, and then go to Logan Paul through that. Now, more than likely, you're not going to have any mutual friends with Logan Paul, right?
Right.
When you click mutual, the button, the option is not going to be there, right?
I have one mutual friend with Logan Paul.
Okay, perfect. So there you go. So then you got to use that fucking mutual friend. If that mutual friend's not available, what? I'm talking about fucking deep, bro. I have a fucking science for this shit. It's the reason why I get asked. Brett's laughing at me. I'm high as fuck, but yes, guess what? What I'm saying is this. That I have a fucking strategy to this shit. It's the reason why I have literally got all these motherfuckers on this shit. I use the 6 degrees of separation, like Kevin Bacon. What is the game? 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. It's like fucking, it's like how you could always tie a movie to Kevin Bacon through 6 other, I don't fucking know. I don't know how to explain it. But basically what I'm saying is just fucking be hungry, be aggressive, and fucking use the tools that like social media allows you to see with now all Instagram, all that shit, followers, who follows who's connected to who, use that stuff. And don't stop working 24/7.
Yeah. You know, I've been doing to grow my follower base besides from podcasts. I gained about 500 actually, because I was at 500 followers back in September. I was doing a lot of Instagram lives. That's how I really got my follower gain up.
You know what? Have you ever tried to follow like 5,000 people and then unfollow them?
I've done that. Like the NR, you know who follows me right now?
I can't see this. Hold on. Brett says you can't do it anymore.
I can't even follow 15 people before I get blocked.
Oh, really? He's saying you can't follow 15 people.
It like stops you now.
See, but back in the day, bro, then when I fucking did this shit, when I first started coming up, you could follow as many people as you want, and there was no like stopping you or anything. So I'd follow like 10,000 people, and then I just unfollow them, and I would probably get like 100 to stick.
Yeah. You know who follows me? The NRA followed me last week.
The NRA. That's interesting. I'd be concerned.
Right? That's like that's what everyone said. Like some people like, yeah, that's awesome, dude. And some people like, ooh, Phil, like that's a little fucked up, bro. I'm like,
You
yeah,
might want to figure that out.
yeah, I know. I was a little scared. I won't lie. I shit myself that morning when I saw
There
that.
you go. There you go. I wanted one of those hats. So you guys send me one of the hats for the next show. We have to put it on there.
Absolutely, we'll get it to you guys. 100%.
It's a good show.
I love it. That's awesome.
So what do you guys want to do? You want to wrap this up or?
I got
Bob. I need a favor, Bob. I need a favor.
Jake's got a favor.
You got anything you need? What's up?
Can you shout out Muhlenberg men's lacrosse for me real quick?
Muhlenberg men's lacrosse?
Yeah, it's where I go to school. It's where I play.
Well, let me tell you what. Muhlenberg men's lacrosse is one of the greatest programs on planet Earth. Love those guys. So, yeah.
Appreciate you. Love it. I love that.
I think we're going to wrap things up, but a lot of my followers, they're kind of like, they're waiting for the pod to launch. So can we tell them that the pod's going to launch? You want to go Instagram? You want to go Instagram live real quick?
On my shit?
I'm live. You want to go live real quick for 2 seconds?
I mean, I can't. I'm just too baked.
Too baked? Okay, we won't do it.
I'm just too baked to do that. I would love to, but I'm just too high right now. So, I mean, if I wasn't high, I would do it. But, when this episode comes out, Phil's been always there for me, so I'll always be there for Phil, and we'll happily promote it and send some of our people to listen to Phil's amazing stories that he told earlier, that we, in his lack of faith in the New England Patriots, and the fact that he looks forward to seeing Mac Jones play next year, which is very interesting.
I do. I honestly fucking do, people. Like, so, I already bet $1,000 on Alabama to win the national championship. They're plus 800 right now.
Guess what? Alabama's always a safe bet to win the national championship, so you can never go wrong.
I said, fuck it, I'm doing it. And somebody goes, but what if they lose, Phil? I go, what if they win? What if they win, guys?
Keeps life interesting sometimes.
Life's always got to be interesting. Every day's a new adventure. It just depends 100%. How fast you're going.
I agree 100%. All right, boys, we capping this off?
Bob? Well, first of all, Bob, I want to thank you. Got to thank my guy, Brett. Dr. Josh, thank you so much, the executive producer. It's 11:47 where we are, 8:47 where they are out in L.A. for Phil Bicocchi and the crew. This is Philosophy.
Good job, boys. I love you.
Thanks, Bob. We appreciate it so much.
You're awesome. You guys are great.